Hey everyone, I finished watching the next Ninja Storm episode, Shimazu Returns Part 2. Guess what Shimazu does here? He has like 2 lines and 2 scenes. Why is the two-parter named after him? He's so pointless and like just completely inconsequential to everything that goes on in these episodes. They focus more on the wolf blades than him. And ironically, they don't even really explain the origin of the wolf blades. Why does he have them? How does he control them? How'd he get them back after being frozen for, like, supposedly hundreds of years? I don't know. Whatever. This episode starts with a previously on, which is very incoherent. The clips, usually in a previously on, they give, like, a good summation of a previous episode. This one just kind of shows a whole bunch of stuff happening with nothing to tie it together. Basically, it's not really to bring in new viewers, it's more to remind the old viewers of what happened in the previous episode, not really to clear things up at all. I guess that's a way to do it. So anyway, the Rangers are battling the combined Wolfblade monster from the end of the last episode, but they're no match for it, so Cam teleports them away. Lothor and Shimatsu plan to steal the box that Cam got from the museum. Well, kind of. Lothor is worried about it. Shimatsu tells him, "I'm not worried about what's in the box, I'm worried about the secret of what's in the box." Guess what they, like, do about it? They do nothing. I don't... It's so weird. Why do they even bother bringing it up? Whatever. Moving on to another thing that happens. At Ninja Ops, Sensei gives Cam permission to open the box. Inside is a scroll, and the Rangers all get bored and leave. Great episode so far. So Cam is deciphering what's on the scroll, and Mara and Capri are practicing to get on the talent show. Remember that? So then the wolf blades separate. Cam sees it on the view screen, but he doesn't call the Rangers. I guess he figures it's pointless to fight the wolf blades now or something. At least until he figures out what the scroll says. Then he calls it, or well, there's other crap that goes on before that. Shane and Tori are spying on Blake and Hunter because they're going to practice for the talent show and they want to spy on them because to see if they're not good or something. I don't really know what exactly the purpose this serves is, but whatever. Cam calls them, and oh yeah, Dustin is also practicing, and he gets mistaken for a street performer while practicing a saxophone. It's all neat little character stuff, but it doesn't really do anything for the story, unfortunately. The story is just really, really dull. Uh, at least so far. It gets better later. Cam calls the Rangers to Ninja Ops to explain what the scroll says. They need to use their power discs to open a portal to the ancient world. That's what he says. Cam takes the discs, and then he gets ambushed by Shimatsu and the Wolf Blades. The Wolf Blades combine, and they knock Cam right out of his Zord. And then Cam is searching around on foot for the location of the portal to the ancient world. And let's see, Cybercam sends the Zords, but without the Rangers' power discs, they can't morph or combine their Zords. So they're just trying to hold off the bad guys while Cam is in the ancient world portal. Yep. So then, let's see, looking through my notes here. Okay, the portal leads to a cave, and inside the cave is this computer console with 6 spaces for the power discs. I guess including Cam's, even though he's still morphed. Okay, whatever. Also, like, why is it called the Ancient World? He goes in, the first thing he sees is a computer console. Anyway, putting the power discs in the thingy, open up some doors, and inside the doors is this electric guitar looking thing. It can combine with his sword. Why? I don't know. They don't really go into any kind of explanation for this or anything, it's just a bunch of stuff that happens. So anyway, he brings it back to the present, or out of that dimension. Maybe the name of the dimension is just Ancient World, but it's not really very ancient with its computer console. So anyway, the electric guitar thingy is the lightning riff blaster. Playing it summons a new Zord, the Mammoth Zord, which I guess was just already there, and they didn't have the means to, like, activate it. So then they use the Mammoth Zord to defeat the Wolf Blades, and there's some awful stock music to go along with it, because Ninja Storm loves awful stock music, and it's really getting irritating. I freaking hate it. I hate it. I hate it. This episode especially will not stop with the stupid stock music. It's so freaking terrible, and I hate it. And we're going to be stuck with it all through the Disney era, and even into the Neo Saban era. They kept it. They had composers. Neo Saban had real composers, and they still, like, someone looked at the Disney era seasons, and they were like, oh, that stock music that they used? That was a good idea. We need more of that. I hate it. So anyway, the Rangers all go to the talent show, and they all get along just fine. They're not competitive at all. There's no animosity between them. They're all extremely supportive of each other. They all do a good job, and then Mara and Capri come on and they sing a really, really cool song. But then it turns out they were lip-syncing. They're found out. So they shoot a fireball at the host. He gets mad, leaves, and I guess there's no winner. Because the host left. The end. Wow, that plot really meant a lot, didn't it? So yeah, this episode is a lot. There's a lot of weirdness in it. A lot of things that I don't think really came together too well. One of the big weird things, and something that's just an odd consistency I've found out in this rewatch of Ninja Storm, there's a lot of multi-parters that don't really need to be multi-parters. Like these two episodes. Actually, these two do connect, but not very well. And Shimazu himself is just completely bland and dull and doesn't even do anything in the second half. In the first episode, all he does is exist. Like, he didn't even need to be the one who sent the Wolf Blades. Like, the Japanese footage doesn't, like, need him to be there. They could have easily cut him out and consolidated all this crap with the Wolf Blades into one episode and just had them be a couple of monsters that Lothor has. Shimazu could have been cut out entirely. I don't really know why exactly they wanted to use him. The suit is okay, but he's just another character for Lothor's crew. He's just another thing to stand around. Maybe there's a cool fight with him later, but again, they probably could have just used him as a one-off monster. He didn't need to be like a main villain that stuck around. I think Motodrone probably would have been a way better choice for, like, to have as a main villain. Whatever. Oh yeah, there's that one odd line from Shimazu that implies he knows something about the scroll in the box that Cam has. When he tells Lothor, I'm not worried about what's in the box, I'm worried about the secret. So he knows that what's in the box isn't a weapon, it's not really anything that they can use against them. It's something that can only be used if they figure out the secret behind it, which Cam does. And Shimazu doesn't seem to care. Lothor doesn't seem to care. I don't know, this episode is just weird. It's like, it's just nothing. They fight the monsters are defeated, then they go to the talent show. And the talent show was pretty pointless because it was setting up that there was some conflict between the Rangers regarding the talent show. At the beginning of the first episode, it's introduced and they're like highly competitive. Blake and Hunter are kind of mad at themselves for letting the others know because now they have extra competition. In this episode, Shane and Tori are going to spy on them. But then at the end, they're all just getting along just fine. It feels like a scene straight out of Mighty Morphin with how friendly they are with each other. Whatever. Anyway, okay. The portal to the ancient world is kind of a weird thing, and this is a weird thing just in Ninja Storm in general, that things will sometimes have really weird, awkward names, or they'll go to an unnecessary extra step for something. With this thing, I don't think the ancient world needed to really be as important as it was. Like, he needs the power discs, uh, not to, like, locate the portal, but, or, yeah, he just needs to take them into the portal, I guess. Anyway, I just think that it would have been better. What if the ancient world wasn't another dimension or whatever? It was just something underneath Ninja Ops. Like, Sensei tells Cam that, because, I don't know, maybe the scroll doesn't just tell him, like, it's something that he would actually need to figure out, and then Sensei would tell him, like, okay, you figured out the thing, so you've earned the magic lightning electric guitar thing. I don't know. I feel like there was a way better way to. Also, he plays electric guitar at the talent show, so I'm thinking, shouldn't that have tied in with this more? Like maybe you could have had him practicing it, like show him, or maybe his electric guitar could have become the thing. Like I don't know, maybe electric guitar is something that Sensei had. Wouldn't a cool story be Sensei has an electric guitar and the others are kind of shocked by, what, you play guitar? And Sensei's like, well, I did. And he's a guinea pig now. And so then he's like, hey, Cam, why don't you try playing the guitar? I taught you a little bit. And so Cam plays it. He has a natural talent for it. And I don't know, maybe that ties in somehow. Maybe the guitar itself turns into the lightning riff blaster. I don't know. There's just so many ways they could have gone with this, and what we have is just kind of nothing. It's just a bunch of stuff that doesn't connect with anything. Oh yeah, the Mammoth Zord is a cool Zord, and it's one of those things that makes me really, especially with an episode like this that's kind of nothing, it really makes me wish Hexagon had happened, because I'm thinking about, like, how cool it would have been to utilize the Mammoth Zord in a season like that. No doubt they would have had it be connected to the Mastodon Zord, and maybe like Zack or Adam would have come back and they would have controlled this new Mammoth Zord. Maybe they would have called it just. Maybe this would have been just the Mastodon Zord rebuilt or something. They had a bunch of stuff like planned out for Hexagon. It was just vague ideas for like bringing back some old characters, but I don't know, something like that. It makes perfect sense. So anyway, yeah, the talent show's pointless. It's just time filler. It doesn't really serve any kind of purpose. Oh yeah, one of the interesting things, the way it's shot, especially the audience, is exactly like a scene from way back in Mighty Morphin. There was some kind of a talent show going on, and it's like shot and framed the exact same way as it was there. And we even have two comedic characters performing, with Marin Capri taking the place of Bulk and Skull, and that one drummer guy who was just in that one scene. Anyway, Marin Capri do have a talent at lip syncing. That's something. I guess that's not the focus of the talent show, though. So anyway, in the end, the episode is... it's acceptable. Like, it's fine. I have problems with it, but that's more just... I don't feel like they did enough with what they had that they could have. I feel like they very easily could have done more with this episode and the previous episode, but they just didn't. Oh yeah, there's no backstory for Shimazu at all. No explanation of how Sensei knew him. Nothing about why or how he controls the wolf blades. Where his allegiance truly lies. Nothing. Vexicus at least had a vague backstory about being Lothor's enemy. Not that that comes through in either of these episodes. He's another character who just stands around and doesn't do anything. And, yeah, one of the things I was thinking about looking into this episode, Shimatsu is one of those characters that's usually forgotten when people talk about Ninja Storm's villains. Everyone remembers Lothor, Marin Capri, Chubo, Vexicus, and Zergain. Nobody remembers Shimatsu, the lame new guy who just comes in at the end and just kind of hangs around. Maybe they do more with him later, but I can't remember anything too major that they do with him, so... yeah. Shimatsu's the most disappointing villain Ninja Storm has had so far, and it's really too bad because I like Ninja Storm, but episodes... looking back, like, on this rewatch, I found a lot more episodes like this, where I'm a bit disappointed that they didn't do more. This whole show feels like they're not experienced, which is weird for the 11th season of a show to feel like it's inexperienced and not well put together. But that is kind of what it is because they kicked off all the original crew except for the stunt people, moved filming to another country, and there's a completely new crew now. Although some of the writers do have experience with previous Power Ranger seasons, like Doug Sloan and Ann Austin, it kind of feels like they didn't learn anything in between when they left in the middle of Turbo and when they came back here. Everything just kind of feels kind of like the lesser episodes of Zeo, and this kind of mimics a lot of the problems that they had in Zeo. One of the big ones being things that don't connect. In Zeo, there's the episode. I can't remember the name of it. Was it Good as Gold? Where there's this magic dog statue that turns things into gold. Bulk and Skull are taking it around and turning random things into gold with it. And at the same time that that's going on, there just happens to be this play about King Midas. And there's also something with the bad guys and something related to gold. I don't remember, but it's weird because none of that connects with each other. It's all just completely separate things, and it's a complete coincidence that it's all happening in the same episode. I don't know, maybe they liked writing that way? I don't know. Whatever. I'm rambling now, so hope you enjoyed this. See ya.